Hello, hello, hello everyone, MJ here. Not in the best kind of light. Makes me look even older than I am. That's okay. I'm going to move this back a little bit. How's everybody doing? I'm in a park here in Taiwan, and it's let's see, it's 11:33 p.m. I have a bottle of alcohol, some soda water, and I got my cup full of ice, and I'm drinking in a public park because it's Taiwan. It's a free country. Gallardo, how are you? Jan, how are you? My goodness, hugs to everybody. Hugs to everybody. Good to see you. My goodness. Hey, listen, drinking again, absolutely. Zone, come on, you know me, man. We had an earthquake today. Everybody's nervous. But before I get into that, yeah, everything's good. But thanks for asking. Boy, you know, I'm cool looking today. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't get too many compliments like that. Yeah, we had an earthquake today. But before we get into that, let me just say, Casper was visiting today. He hasn't visited for months. He's the busiest man in show business, except he's not in show business. Thanks, I appreciate it. Casper's a chemical engineer. His PhD is actually Dr. Koch. For those of you who may not know, he doesn't go around telling people that, but he's a PhD chemical engineer. He's been setting up some cool stuff. I can't tell you about it, okay? He's going to have to tell you about it. But he had about a 3.5 hour or 2.5 hour window, and he came to visit me today in the studio, and we live streamed a little bit what I was doing. So look at Casper's stream. The audio wasn't great because it was done with with Prism. It's in stereo, but it's not like I had a connection to the phone from my console. So about the earthquake. All right, here's what I want to show you. We had today an earthquake, and if you look at the bottom here, it says, oh, here, let me do this. Hang on. Gonna move. There you go. Magnitude 6.7. Actually, hey, Cliff, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. Cliff is a new viewer, and I really appreciate it. Actually, if you look at the epicenter, I'll show you that in a second. Let me put the second graphic up. I want to do this guy right here, and I want to put him over here. And I want to zoom him a little bit. You see that red star? The epicenter is actually off of Elon. It's not too far away from where where my German friend Andreas lives, who made my my liquor. Alissan is actually kind of in the middle of the state. So anyway, that's the deal. Now where I live in Hsinchu County. And if you notice on the bottom it says Zhubei City. Now Zhubei City is the next city down below us. And it was a 3. And I read, where some foreigners were saying that it was, the longest, biggest earthquake they've ever experienced. I gotta tell you, it was pretty long. Dave, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. A fist bump to you. Not on the camera, but I don't know if wherever, yeah, okay. Camera's blocked, so. Oh, they're all, of course. We have Gallardo, every week there's earthquakes from Huali and Elon. That side, is very volcanically active. It's geologically active, which makes sense because that's where they have all the hot springs. If you want to go to hot springs, go to East Taiwan. Fantastic. And we're actually going to be going to East Taiwan in another couple of weeks. So, Hoodoos, nice to have you with us, Hoodoos. Hey, Hoodoos, by the way, I want to tell you, I mailed that stuff to you. It's going to take a while, but I mailed it to you. How's it shaking? Yeah, shake, rattle, and roll. Okay, you ready for this? I got a 6-second video. A 6-second video that I'm going to show you. Here it is. Really big, really long earthquake. Yeah, what do you think? Let me play that again. Really big, really long earthquake. Anyway, one more time. So that was my that's my dining room. Yeah, so you know what Phoenix did? My daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, she got really scared. Let me tell you something. I gotta tell you, I've been living in Taiwan a long time. I've been through probably, I don't know, maybe 10, pretty good sized ones, right? So yeah, you're not kidding. You know something? You can always find a blessing in something, right? And I grabbed the table. I didn't know it was going to happen. It started going like this. But now here's the thing. They were reporting up in Taipei that this happened. It really depends where you are. But I'm going to tell you a little secret about earthquakes. If you guys, feel this, it starts going up and down, just grab a beer, because you're going for a ride and there's nothing you can do about it. So, well, there you go. In LA, they got the San Andreas Fault, and that all the time, which is good. It's all the time, like, it's as the fault line's moving, it's releasing energy, which is good because you don't want it to build up. When it builds up, then you have the big earthquakes. And the big one here they call the Gigi earthquake down in Nantou County. I've been to the 921. See, the U.S. has their 9/11, but Taiwan has 9/21. It's a different thing. But 9/21 was that was the date in 1999 of September 21 of the Gigi earthquake, and I think it was 7.2. And there's a tower. Electrical towers here in Taiwan are pretty interesting. They'll sink a caisson in the ground, a concrete caisson, and it'll actually extend above ground, make a platform where they bolt the tower on, and then they hang the insulators and then the high tension, right, cables. Well, the ground liquefied, and it liquefied for a number of seconds, enough for the tower to tilt. I think it's 28.5 degrees, and then it refroze, and it's stuck there. It's really interesting. And so they decommissioned it. They built a replacement tower, but they left that tower there. Now, I was a broadcast engineer for many years, and I will tell you something about towers. You always want them to be straight, up and down, tangential to the earth. You just want them straight up and down, right? And every time I see that tower and it's tilted, it just does something to me as a broadcast engineer. I filmed it, and I was underneath it going, oh, it's going to fall. But, of course, it's not going to fall. So, yeah. Yeah, as long as they do the little releases, everybody always says that, oh, we're due for a big one, or we're due for a big one, but they're hard to predict. As long as there's little releases, like in Taiwan, you'll see on the East Coast, they'll have, maybe in one day, they'll have 3 or 4, and they'll be like, 2.0, they'll be 3.0 or something, and then, they're releasing that. But Phoenix is okay. Oh, the S waves. Oh, that's interesting. The S waves, because you go holy S, right, when they happen. But I'll tell you a story about that in just a second. Phoenix said, Papa, let me show you what they taught us in school. And she dived under the table. Now, just so you guys know, I live in a typical Taiwan house. It's poured concrete, and they got about a bazillion kilograms of rebar in the house. It's concrete forms, all rebar, and I have seen some excavators trying to take down, trying to demolition certain houses right in Taiwan, and it's hard. They grab the thing and they pull and nothing happens, and the concrete breaks, but the rebar holds it together. So, I mean, it would have to be something really like incredible magnitude, like 8 or 9. I mean, to really, really have stuff fall. But I noticed in my studio, when I'm mixing, I have, my studio monitors and speakers, okay? And on top of those, I got some little lights, or just they're battery operated lights that I can adjust the intensity, because sometimes I like to work in a little subdued light. And I noticed that they had rotated a little bit, and you can get an idea of what's going on with the ground movement by looking at how things move, because it's not just back and forth. There is a twist to it. It's kind of strange. So I'm going to tell you guys something. Like I said, If you're, if something happens and you start going like this, up and down, yep, it's going to be bad. Look around. The biggest thing you got to worry about is stuff falling on you. It ain't just the house. It's like the bookcase. I put a bookcase in Phoenix's room. It's got like, it's like 6 compartments by 5, bunch of them, right? It's just full of books. And one of the first things I did was I got my hammer drill and went into that concrete wall, and I bolted it to the wall because I don't want an earthquake doing this and pushing that thing over. So, and all my guitars in the studio are hanging on, metal hooks that are bolted to the wall. So, well, yeah, see, yeah, no, that isn't too cool. Jan, I really wish I could see your house. Jan, do you use Line, Line? Because if you do, I would really love for you to join our Line app. Here's what I would like everybody to do. All of those within the sound of my voice, please send an email to latenight@taiwanlive.tv. Yep, that's a real domain. latenight@taiwanlive.tv. And I can add you to the Line group if you use Line. That'd be fantastic. And you can share all these pictures, and anything that you want. Now this Line group, it's called Late Night, after the late night show, which is what I do. And all your favorite live streamers are there, and you'll have access to all of us. So, Up and Down Joel. Yeah, and so he knows. But let me tell you the worst one. Oh. Yeah, Line, Line. Just look on the App Store and install Line. It's from Korea, and actually the interesting thing is Line is owned and operated, designed by Naver, and Naver developed Prism. So it's interesting. So it's the same people that do Prism. So Line, Line is the name of an app. I know. I didn't make it up. So what happens is in English we say online, but it's different than on the Line app. So send me an email, and I can add you to our Line group. It's kind of like a private Facebook for mobile, and it's a basic chat room. You can live stream to the chat room. You can do video calls, voice calls. You can share files. You can share, photos, notes, links, videos. It's great, and all the major live streamers that you know and love are all there, and many of my fans. It's not just like a fan thing for me, and there are several of the friends here that are in this scope right now, in this broadcast right now, that are on that Line group. So it's not like just, about me. But let me tell you about the worst one. Oh, it was October 15th, 2004. I still remember it. And I was living in Taiwan, which is from here, probably about an hour on the highway. So yes, I did. But, I guess maybe, some people might not know what Line is, but that's okay. But no, we'd love to have you join us. And, the thing is, we don't care about, anything. We don't care about, where you're from or what language you speak or whatever. We've got people from all around the world, and so it's just a big, big family. It's one place that you can get away. We have several people that participate or that just, I guess you would say, like, read the mail. They don't really comment too much, but they read all the messages, and they tell me privately that they like that group because it's away from all the, the major problems that are going on. It's just light kind of stuff. Like somebody will, cook something, or somebody will go to a restaurant and say, wow, look at this dish that I got. It's like amazing, and that kind of stuff. And we share it. And little things that we do, like, I put a new water heater in today. I got rid of this really old junky water heater that they put in when they built the house. And so I got, a new water heater today. But I can show you, for example, Everybody knows my favorite beer is Moosehead, and I went to Athula's the other day, and he's got a Moosehead. He's got a Moosehead, you know, a Moosehead beer glass. I'm like, that's cool. Like, where can I get that, man? So anyway, nah, Hoodoos, you're busy and you stop in whenever you can. Now this is a breakfast that I had the other day. This is Taiwanese breakfast. This is called danping, and what that is a light. It's a type like a flour tortilla, and it's eggs inside it. And I had them add cheese and bacon, and they fold it over. They roll it, put it in a roll, and they cut it. So I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we share in the line group. It's pretty cool. All right, now in October, in 2004, I was in Taoyuan, about an hour north of here, and I was living in a place on the 7th floor, and I was in the office at the time, you know, running my business out of there, and I heard this noise. It is. You guys got to come here, man. You're gonna love the food. I really want to do a tour. You know, of course, we got this worldwide pandemic, the CCP virus, but when it calms down, I'm going to have all you guys over, and we're going to do a tour. We're going to eat our way around Taiwan. It should be the Eat Taiwan tour. Now, I was sitting in my office, and I heard this sound that I thought was a jackhammer, but the cycles were too slow. You know, like a jackhammer's like that. A jackhammer's like, you know, it's like, but this is like not very fast. So they have a tool. It's a hand tool, and it's like a spike with a hammer. It's called a star drill, and sometimes people will use a star drill by hand to chip concrete to do something. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're hanging something, whatever. It just sounded to me like somebody was hammering concrete. And then my chair literally lifted off the ground, because it went like this or it went like this and threw me up. I'm not sure which it did, but I just know that my chair left the ground, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And I grabbed a hold of my desk, and then it started this, and then it was doing it in a circle. And it's really strange, I'm telling you. Because we're living across from the mountains, and I look out I love that view of the mountains, and I look out the window, and the window's going like this with the background behind, like, you know, imagine I'm the background, and that is the weirdest thing that you can imagine. I mean, because you look out that window every day, and it's, you know, steady state. You see the mountains, and they're, you know, where they are, and all of a sudden, this window's going like this. I was like, oh man. Yeah, see, Hoodoo's nose. And you know something? T.I., I feel sorry that you know. It means you had that experience. And that's what happened tonight. Although my wife felt it first. I felt something. It was kind of weird. So yeah, you do. And yeah, don't let me forget. I want to address that too. The thing is, my wife felt it first. I thought, no, they do, because it messes with, you see, it's like being on a boat. If you go below decks on a boat, especially a small boat, you'll get instantly sick. But if you're on deck, then you can look at the horizon. So the boat's going like this, but the horizon is steady, right? And so your head is a gimbal, right? So you're going like this, and it just doesn't matter, right? The earthquake changes that, because now the horizon changes. Everything changes. Everything, you know, you're looking in your house, and the relationship between all the things stays the same, but they're moving together like this. And that's the problem. You know, that's the problem, is that it throws off, it really makes, it makes you sick. So, okay, well, we can talk about that now. That, you know, the thing is, it's like if you've ever been on a boat all day and you get off the boat. When does it bother you? It bothers you at night when you're laying down. When you're laying down, man, you're in the bed and you're going like this in bed. Am I right? You're in bed and you're rolling side to side, but you're not. But you think you are. So what happens is after you live in a place like Taiwan that's very geologically active, and there are earthquakes every day, there's micro quakes every day. And I'm telling you, every once in a while I'll feel like that's it. So this bump to you, Ken. Thanks for joining, man. So glad that you didn't end up with COVID-19, man. And wear that mask, because I know you do. Be careful. Thanks for joining. I feel like a little shake, and I know it. I know that's what it is. The first time I ever came to Taiwan, I was against the wall at somebody's house. I was on the floor sitting against the wall, and the wall behind me went like this. And I said, an earthquake. And Taiwanese are so used to this, they'll look at like coat hangers, and they'll look at the chandelier, and they'll look at anything that can be shaken, and they went, Mayo, and it means none, no. But I know what I felt, but it wasn't enough to rock everything. And so somebody that I know tonight in Taiwan was telling me that she felt it was still moving after it wasn't. Now, so far, I haven't felt any aftershocks, but it would be just classic MJ if we had a big aftershock right now, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But it could happen. So, now before we go any further, I want to point out we have our companion site, TaiwanLive.tv. I'd like to thank my sponsor, iVideo.com.tw, and on YouTube, right in the description down there, you can find a link with a 10% discount code, and also in Periscope in the profile. Yeah, let's hope not too. So we're simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube, and we have viewers on all platforms right now, I see, except for Facebook. So now let me just show this real quick, just because I want to take a little bit of a break from the earthquake topic. This is a park, and I'm going to move the phone up like this, and I'll just move it a little bit like this at a time. That's a little playground area for the kids, and it's pretty well lit up. That's a big round planter, it's just got trees and stuff in it. And then over here they have like a little seesaw for kids, and a bench. And over here is kind of one of those, it looks like I guess we call that a pagoda, but it's just a little sheltered area with a table. They say no barbecue in the park, but everybody does it. But the reason they do this is because a lot of people come here and they don't clean it up. So if the master, the local village master comes out and he starts getting on your case for having a barbecue, you can just show him like you got trash bags and you're going to pick stuff up. And there's little things over there for the the little kids to play with. So it's a nice little park. And it really says something about the fact that it's it's over 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there, hey Rob, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. There's something about Taiwan that it is significantly after, well, it's 3 minutes until midnight here, and I'm in the middle of the park in Taiwan, and nobody cares. It's just, it's a very, very safe place. A couple was walking through here earlier, so. Oh, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. The only unexpected visitors we might get is some kind of stray dog, but any stray dog that would be in here is going to be kind of impoverished, and they might bark at big game, but they're not going to do anything. But Dave is making reference to my last stream. Well, when we had that Filipino guy come up, and I think I could have handled that a little bit better. In fact, maybe I should talk about that a little bit, because I may have made people a little bit angry and a little bit upset by how I handle that. But before I say that, I just want to say, you know, I Periscope has been messing up for me. I can't. I watch Periscope scopes. You know, I can't get it to run for more than like 5 seconds at a time. It'll run and it'll stop and buffer. It'll run, stop, and buffer. It's really annoying. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Fist bump to you too. All right. So yeah, I don't get it. It was I think, now I might be wrong, but I think Periscope is just suffering from neglect. I think there's no money in it for them. It's a dead end platform for them. They just don't. You know, it's such a shame. You know, and this bothers me because I see potential in things. I see potential in people because I love people and I love potential in people, which is a segue into the other part of what I was going to say. I've been talking about how I like to view people and look for the good in people rather than the bad. And then this guy shows up and I want to know what he's doing and I'm accusing him of stuff. So it may seem like it's a contradiction. And I can certainly understand if somebody thought I was, you know, contradicting myself. Yeah, they focused all the resources on trying to throw it in the direction for their candidate that they support. So, what's up with that? I just wish that all platforms were political. Mirna, fist bump to you. Hi, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. It was good to see you today on Casper's stream. That was good. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I just wish everything was political. I'm doing good. We had a big earthquake here, but I'm okay. Nothing happened. A couple of lights got kind of sort of moved around, so. Well, there's something that all right, let me just say this. It was late. And I'm not going to defend myself. I'm just actually right now I'm live on 4, including Facebook. But oh, he was there in person. This guy's name is Mark. And you'll have to go back and look at it. It's kind of hard to describe, but he said he couldn't speak Chinese, and I said, well, you know, are you from? No. Are you from Taiwan? And he said, yeah. And I said, and then I said, well, you know, you lied to me. And he said, I'm just joking with you. And he really made me mad. And so, okay, but it turns out he's actually Filipino Taiwanese, and he left. He's like 1 year old, so he can't speak Chinese. So I understand that. So I ended up apologizing to him. But let me explain something to you about criminals in Taiwan. They always wear their motorcycle helmets. Now, there's a practice in Taiwan that if you're on a scooter, you ride a helmet, and you'll go up to 7-Eleven, and they'll just go inside 7-Eleven with a helmet on. I've seen people, you know, order food, have it like microwaved, and they just sit down and flip up the visor and eat it without taking the helmet off. People go to the bank. They go everywhere without the helmet on. So, Dave, thanks so much. That's Dave in Osaka right there on Facebook. So if you guys want to follow him on Facebook, there you go. All right. Thanks, Dave. But, you know, here's the thing. They, like criminals, yes, criminals will will wear their motorcycle helmet because it makes it harder to take them out. Got a face shield on. Let me say I'm going to bust you in the jaw, but I can't see your jaw. So, yeah, and whatever fights I've gotten into before, I've just punched them in the helmet. So it's you know, if you've got really good kung fu, you can crack the helmet if you hit it right. But that's not the point. The point was, this guy showed up and he wouldn't take his helmet off, right? And one thing that you don't know about Jar Jar, I was going to show you guys this. It was hard to do. All right, bear with me. Just bear with me just 1 second. I'm going to look at this and see if I can find this. Because, yeah, all right, I'm going to show you this really lousy, crappy picture, okay? Now, I was in Jar Jar at night. This is what Jar Jar looks like when it's closed. They had the doors. I'm gonna tilt it like this. This is a very fuzzy picture because I took it from my car. I was turning the corner and I decided to snap a picture. Now, you see those two tables? The table on the right, okay, that's where I was sitting. I was sitting right on the left end of that table. Now, you see behind me is a roll-down door. And to my left, which is on your right, there's another roll-down door. Now, what she does is she shuts the lights out. So this guy came up, okay, and he walked up to me and he stopped at the place that's between those two tables. So I got nowhere to run. If he wanted to do harm to me, I'd have to like dodge him or climb over the table, or I'd have to engage him directly in combat. And that's, so naturally I'm suspicious. Now, I don't want to, but I'm fully prepared to, well, thank you. I don't want to. I'm fully prepared. I'm an old guy, but I am well trained, and I abhor violence, but I'm not afraid of it. And so if he made a move on me, I would have taken him out, but that would have been very bad, on a live stream. That would have been just terrible, that was just, but the whole thing was just so weird, and he didn't seem to understand what live streaming is. I told him I'm live streaming, and there's hundreds of people watching me. Yeah, I wish. And so, yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. But what I decided to do was, I think I fit it in on Periscope. Yeah, on the Periscope and the YouTube videos, in the description on YouTube, I posted the guy's Facebook name. So you guys may, you may want to, tell him what you think on Facebook. Just suggest, politely. You might want to, suggest that you just don't go up to people and, come off disingenuous. See, there is one thing about Americans that's pretty universal. Americans seem to, this is really strange, because Americans seem to value honesty, but yet so many Americans are dishonest. But I know people that if you lie to them once, that's it, no more. Don't get a second chance, that's it. Like they say in Chinese, Ika Gola. So, really? Big blurred, huh? Well, the video does have to process, once it's, the live stream is ended. Not on Periscope, yeah. See, we've been having problems like, one time Periscope a couple of streams ago, Periscope was all messed up, so. You have eyes there, Rob? Wow, it's amazing. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. Sorry to hear, Jan. But sometimes you just got to cut them loose. Can't have people lying to you, Can't be doing that. That's not good. So I went to Win-Win's today, and I just wanted to show you, man. I had picked out some of those bacon wraps, you know, that I like, that are in the center of this picture, and put them in my little basket lined up for him to deep fry, and he had given them to the previous customer by mistake. And I'm like, oh! So he rolled 2 new sticks right in front of me. And when I took this picture, they were still steaming hot. So I had some of these snacks tonight, so that was good. Yeah. All right. So what's going on in Taiwan is this: we got some new rules here, and since December 1st, we have to wear masks in 8 different types of places, including medical facilities and educational institutions and so forth. And so I think that even though, you know, nobody watching me right now, or probably nobody watching me right now, is actually in Taiwan, you know, that's not a bad thing to do. It's not a bad list. So, you know, don't let anybody intimidate you. You're hearing all kinds of strange things now about, you know, masks don't work and you shouldn't wear them and all this stuff, and don't believe it, because we live in Taiwan and we have the pandemic under control. Okay, now before we go any further, I'm going to play a little clip that I played last time. I'm going to mute my mic because I think it's so funny. This is pretty funny. And this is actually a clip from Friends, and it was made using one of my songs from my 1995 album called Classic Reminder. And let me do this. Let me turn off my mic. Here we go. And here it is. I'll turn on my mic and then, yeah.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble. And there ain't no way. What you gonna do to help me make it through? You gotta keep dancing. You gotta keep dancing. What you gonna say?
Microphone back on. So there you go. That was fun. That's a fun little clip that they did for me at DistroKid, my record distribution company. So, all right. Anyway, I've been working in the studio a lot. Been missing sleep. I've been working on some other people's stuff, but I'm going back to doing more and more of my my own stuff. So, yeah, yeah, I did back in my youth. Yeah. If you go to my site, mjk.asia, it's probably the first tune, or the second tune, anyways, yeah. You can scroll down, so. Dave, that's about the highest compliment I think anybody's ever paid me, and I really appreciate that. So, yeah, just go to mjk.asia, and you can hear, you know, the older releases that I did, and some of them were mastered at Sony in New York, and things that I did, you know, between 1991 and 1997, and I eventually quit the business in 1999, so now I'm back in it, and I've been, you know, the last 2 years have been acquiring equipment and slowly putting it together, because I don't worry about getting, too old, you know, because you take care of yourself, you know, you can still play and still sing. I mean, look at these soul singers and some opera singers, and you know, they're really doing their thing into their 80s, so I'm not really worried about it. On Casper's live stream today from my studio, the camera's reversed. It actually looks, if you want to see what my studio really looks like, look at it in the mirror, okay? Just look at it in the mirror. But working on a new tune that I just started, and the problem is I haven't finished any single tune. I got about, I'm thinking like 6 tunes that I'm growing up together, okay? You know, I'll work on I'll work on one tune, I'll get it so far, and then, you know, so I got a bunch of tunes that are like on the same level, right? And what I need to do is I need to just pick one and go ahead and finish it, and then that'll prompt me to do the rest of them. Well, you know, you can join us right now. I got my second device, and right now I got plenty of internet speed here in this area because, you know, we got the iVideo.com Wi-Fi box. I'm going to turn on my second device. If you want to give us a call right now, why not? We did that before. Matthew, how you do? Fist bump to you. Now, Coco has been missing. We had Coco on a call recently, but I don't know what's going on. I reached out to her on Skype, and she hasn't replied yet. But she seems to have, I think, either deleted her line account or, you know, switched devices or something. Which it seems that she's also deleted her Twitter, which is really, really interesting. That's kind of bad, but I mean, I think so. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's very cool. All right, well, let's do this. Let's do this. And you know, lyricists are very useful. If you remember, like Elton John and Bernie Taupin, right? Elton John, he did not write the lyrics. All right, so I just sent some messages. Okay. All right, so if you want to give us a call, right here, Taiwan Live TV, all one word. Jan, if you're on Skype, you can give us a call right now. Neil Pert from Rush, right? Yeah, I know the one that actually got them their record deal. I think it was with Mercury Records. All right, so we have our Skype open. No space? What do you mean? Sorry, I'm sorry, I missed that. Taiwan Live TV, one word, just like that. Yeah, no space. I think that's what you mean. Yeah, Taiwan Live TV, just like that. That is our Skype ID. I have my old logo, but you can see it says well, sort of you can see it says Taiwan Live TV, one word. Well, you know, I recommend just using Skype Lite. And Skype has a new feature too for doing collaboration. You know, kind of a Zoom meeting competitor. But yeah, why not? Check it out. And if you got Skype, just give us a call and we'll put you on. I'm just checking to make sure everything is okay on the second device here. But yeah, no space, Taiwan Live TV, all run together in one big glorious word. But wow, I got so many things here that need to be updated, but I'm not going to update them right this second because I don't want to waste the internet bandwidth doing updates on things that don't matter right this second on the second device. All right, so what's on your guys' mind? Because I've been telling you about what's going on here in the, you know, with the earthquake. Now, about the pandemic. Now, we have not had any local transmission for so long. It's been more than 200 days. It's amazing how far. Pretty soon it's going to be, 3/4 of a year. We've had no local transmission, but we have tons of new cases, and they're all imported because Taiwan relies on migrant labor. And the biggest problem that we've had, and you'll notice we haven't seen Sylvia for a long time. Sylvia lives in Jakarta, and it's because, yes, where she lives is the red zone. She showed me a screen cap from her app that she sent to me, directly. And she is in the middle of this big red zone, and it's just so hard, Yeah, I read that. That's really good. That's really good that they got that. Hopefully it'll work. Now, a lot of people in America are afraid because we've heard for years that it's just going to be like a GPS chip, or it's going to be some kind of bioengineering weapon or something. But here in Taiwan, they bid for which one they can get, and I trust Taiwan vaccines. But workers fleeing Myanmar, it makes perfect sense. But here they're coming here to work legitimately through the labor system, right? Yeah, I would too. I'll take it when it's available here in Taiwan. I get the flu vaccine every year, and it's fine. And the flu vaccine for me is free because I'm over 50, and it's likely that the COVID-19 vaccine would be free for me too, but it might not. But anyway, it's all covered under our national health insurance, so it would only be like at the most it would be like $5 or something. So it works so well. But like today we got 10 more cases that came in, and all these people have to be quarantined. They have to be tested, they have to be retested, and it is kind of a burden on the national healthcare system. So I kind of wish they would stop doing it. I read in the Taiwan News app. By the way, if you guys want to know, oh, I see. Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. If you guys really want to know what's going on in Taiwan, there's an app called Taiwan News, and it's really good. It's in English. And there's another website called Focus Taiwan, and if you look at Focus Taiwan, and you can really see what's going on and get an idea, of boots on the ground, because you're not going to get that in the mainstream media in the United States. And there are so many things going on in the United States. Like YouTube yesterday announced that, I don't do politics, but I understand the Constitution of the United States, and I understand the law, and I understand right and wrong. And they said that, the 8th was the safe harbor day, and, after that, it means that whoever, has won a certain number of states has won the election, and that is not true. Because the Constitution only mentions one date. That's Inauguration Day. And the other statutes are federal statutes that were put into place, but they say if there is any election irregularities, then they can delay that. But what happened was, delay this election. But what happened was, YouTube says, oh, well, it's Safe Harbor Day, according to these federal laws. And so, now get this. Any non-major news outlet that talks about election fraud, election irregularities, or anything other than so-and-so won, their content's going to be deleted. And that, to me, sounds exactly like what the Chinese Communist Party does. That's bad. It's really bad. And so the big tech companies have now become gatekeepers. So anyway, I'm not going to get banned because all I'm doing is saying what they said. But I just find it disheartening that there's a certain kind of person that doesn't believe that you can make up your own mind. They believe that you have to be steered to make the correct choice, which is, of course, what they want. And I hate that. MJ does not go for that. It's like when I got out of the elevator in China, and there was a monitor there. He was assigned to me. I got out of the elevator, and he looked at me and said, "This way, sir." What do you mean? This way. What's that way? What are you talking about? He goes, "You must have your breakfast." Excuse me? You must have your breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast in 30 years. I'm not eating breakfast today. And I walked away. And nobody ever said anything like that to him before. I don't like people telling me what to do, how to think. And if you don't either, maybe you should let YouTube know. Because I don't think they have the right to do what they're doing. They're doing it because they have the power to do it. But these companies like Twitter and YouTube and Periscope and all the rest of them, Facebook, they claim to be utilities. And utilities are not allowed to discriminate. The gas company can't say, "Oh, we're not going to hook up your gas, to your house because you voted for the wrong person." The electrical company can't say, "Well, you're the wrong color, so we're not going to give you electrical power," because those are utilities. And utilities have to be blind to everything. But these tech companies are not blind. And I'll tell you right now, in Taiwan, right over there, okay, a 6-minute flight in F-16 at full bore with an afterburner is the world's biggest problem, the Chinese Communist Party. And being this close to Taiwan, let's just say I'm a little bit sensitive when I see people acting like them. And the thing that I see about YouTube that's going on with the censorship is exactly like what's going on in China. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, they're all banned. It is. But they have their own versions, right? Like WeChat, Weibo, and they've got their own version of YouTube. And nobody's allowed to post anything offensive. And nobody's allowed to post anything subversive. But the definition of offensive and subversive is up to the CCP. So, this is just pushing me more to the in the direction of creating my own social media platform for me, only for me, which means that everybody else can join and participate, but it's not, like Twitter where anybody can start posting stuff. Because here's what happens. The free speech, now there are several free speech alternatives, okay, to Twitter. And here's the problem. A lot of people equate free speech with being able to say offensive speech. So it is very much so. Now, in a free society, this is another thing that the left doesn't seem to understand. In a free society, in order for it to be free, you must risk being offended. You must. But it also doesn't mean that, all the Nazis, all the fascists, all the racists can go to this platform and say anything that they want to say. And I mean, let me rephrase that. That's not what I meant to say. That all those people can go to these platforms and demand the right to be heard. That's what I mean. Demand the right to be heard. If I want to block them, I'll block them, and that's fine. But I don't think the platform should block them. See, I have another unique perspective, because as you guys know, I was a talk show host in the 90s, but I was also the vice president of the talk radio network. It was the same time. It was the second largest talk radio network in the United States at the time, and we used to get this all the time. Like somebody would say something nasty on the radio, and they would press a button, and the safety delay would dump that, and their comment would be gone. And later on, they would, call up and, hey, you cut me off, and and it's against the Constitution and free speech and all this. And so I had to explain to them, okay, well, the Constitution forbids obstruction of free speech by the government, but not by the private sector. Which is why, if you're a utility, the utility is viewed as an agency. It's not the government. But that's why the gas company can't say, well, you voted for this party, and we're not going to hook you up to gas. But a privately owned radio station can cut you off anytime. And I used to tell people, I said, well, look, we didn't, nobody went to your home and put their hand over your mouth and you couldn't talk. You called the radio station and, you tried to say something on the air that would violate FCC rules. We're not going to allow that, number one. And number two, the right to be heard is fallacious. Nobody interfered with your free speech. You said what you wanted to say, but we're not entitled to give you a platform. Okay. Now, that being said, that may be what YouTube and Facebook and all these others are doing, but they're very one-sided. See, it's like, it shouldn't matter if it's, somebody from this political party that says something offensive, or something from that political party that says something offensive, or somebody from this ethnicity or this nationality or whatever. Offensive is offensive, and not is not. But you shouldn't let some of it through because they're from the right policy or the right political party, and the other ones get blocked because they're from the wrong political party. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't get into politics, but it's very clear I understand it. And I understand Taiwan politics very well, and it is absolutely fascinating. It's incredible. But we have to be careful where we're going, because it's amazing. The further things go forward, and the hipper and the cooler and the more sophisticated we think we are, we're actually going backwards. Thanks, Mark. Take care. So good to see you, man. Hope everything's going good with you, and hope you're still recovering well, making progress every day. Yeah, so I'm disappointed in YouTube, because I'm capable of making up my own mind, and there were a lot of alternative news stations on YouTube that were reporting things that the mainstream media doesn't. And the other part of the equation is, I'm in Taiwan. How do I get CBS News on TV? Well, I do have a TV box, and it has some of the news stations, but I'm not going to watch CNN. It's just the way it is. So, yeah. Thank you, Dean. Fist bump to you. Yeah. Well, I think I understand this. I've got a background in music publishing and so forth. So, hey, Jan, you did. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Okay. Jan just gave me a message. I'm gonna accept this. Then it says, call me when you can. Here we are. We're calling Jan Hirahara. Boy, I like that name, Japanese name. I'm calling on audio only, not on video. Hello.
Wait a minute. Got a second. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, you're on video. Okay, excellent. Nice to have you with us. How are you, Jan? Nice to see you finally. This is great. I love doing this. You know, we do this all. We do this every once in a
I'm
while.
on.
Yeah, there you go. You're on. How you doing? Hoodoos is saying hi, Jan. Oh, you know what it is, Jan? Please turn down the audio from the live stream because it's feeding back. You know what I'm saying?
Hi.
Like you're okay. You're
Okay, I
yeah.
can get off.
You know what I mean? You're
Good. I don't have my makeup on or anything. I don't wear makeup, but I do.
who cares about that? You look great. You look great. You look so happy. You look so friendly. Nothing else matters. Jan, on your second device, you know, that you're looking at YouTube, could you please turn the sound down on that?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, I believe, yeah, you were watching on the second device, so there you go. All right. Everybody's saying hi. Hoodoo says hi,
everybody.
and Dean says hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning here.
Oh, I know it is. It's yeah, because you're in California, man. It's like really early. Well, I tried to go on a little bit later. Matthew says hi too.
Hi, Matthew.
Well, you know, Jan, I see your face, you know, and you've got this beautiful smile. And Rob says hi too. You got this beautiful smile. You know,
Hi, Ron.
you look so happy and you know so friendly. So, my goodness, it kind of matches like the personality that I see when you're typing. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, I'm not going to interrupt your stream. I just wanted to see if this would work, and it's so good to see you. I just see your Taiwan on there, but
Yeah.
your symbol.
Well, I
But it's so nice to get on here. I just wanted to talk with you, so I'm so glad, and say hi to everyone, and
I
I'll get
appreciate
off
it.
now and join the stream.
Thank you. I'm only broadcasting audio because I'm trying to save the bandwidth, you know, and I'm showing your video stream, you know, on the. Of course, you can see, you know, on the camera. So that's what we do when people call. It's a lot of fun. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. Everybody, sleep tight tonight if you're going to sleep, and good morning if you're
Yeah.
waking up.
It's either good night or good morning here with us. All right, thanks, Jan. You
Okay,
take
I'll be
care.
back.
All right, thanks.
I'll be on your live stream now.
Excellent.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you. Wasn't that nice? That's great. All right. Always love to have friends join us here on the live stream. You know, I don't even have to be in the studio with a green screen and a big condenser mic and, you know, bring sources in and do, you know, so I just hold my phone up, you know, and like up to the side, you know, this is my split screen, you know, like live stream, so it works great. Hoodoos, you're next anytime. Anytime you want, Hoodoos, you're next. Really. So, all right. We'll be back right after this. Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein. And you know, Dave was here last year, and I gotta tell you, Dave, we miss you. We want you to come back, but the pandemic and stuff is, yeah, it's not conducive to travel, but yeah, that little video that Dave made, he made it on a boat. You see the iceberg in the back. He's in Greenland, man, and he thought enough of me to make a bumper for me. It's like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I can just say, I am really blessed with the people that I'm fortunate enough to associate with. And Dave is one of them. Yeah, see, it's amazing because when I was younger, I realized something. I used to say this in the studio. I'm going to give you guys some words of advice from somebody that's closer to 65 than not. Talking about, working in the studio and trying to do your best work. I used to say, you can try to sound like Johnny Turd and the Commodes, if you want to. Or you can try to sound like Journey, or David Bowie or Bad Company or Queen or any of these high quality bands. You could try to, hone your craft. And I realized at a young age, man, I need to hang out with people that are smarter than me and better than me at stuff. And as an adult, and a mature adult, I think I'm probably, as good as I'm going to get at whatever it is I'm doing. But you still got to hang out with quality people. Jordan Peterson said something, and regardless of whether you like what he says or not, there's one thing I think everybody can agree on. He said character matters. It really does, because you see people all the time, these meltdowns and things that they have, and things that people do on Twitter, and you can just there's a train wreck getting ready to happen because there's no character here. There's just, people don't seem to have it's, I don't know, what do you want to call it? A moral compass or whatever it is. They just, so character matters. And when I was young, I didn't realize that so much. And when I was young, I made some mistakes. I did some bad stuff. So at one point, I was a bad guy. But I'm not anymore. And that is the difference. See, repentance is amazing. You'll read a lot of times about, criminals, and you see them, they're standing in court. They got a suit and tie on that they got, just for the court date because they don't own a suit and tie. But they're always very pious, and, they're sorry that they got caught. And that's it. They're not, sorry really for what they did, and they're not sorry for the reproach, it brings on their family and the community and everything. And so that's the big difference with somebody who recognizes that they messed up bad, and, they recognize the chain, the dominoes that fell over as a result of that, and it goes all the way back to their family, their community, their church if they belong to one, and their school if they belong to one, whatever. So it does, it does. But it's not necessary to let bad things become a burden, and you become overly concerned and overly weighed down with past sins, with past mistakes, if you don't do them again. These people that you see in the entertainment business and the political realm that are doing all these bad things, they're still doing them. And it's not like you can say, well, wait a minute, hold on. That was 20 years ago, that was 15 years ago, that was 10 years ago. I'm not like that anymore. So it takes a while, right? Yeah. So you're right, it matters what we do now. As long as we've moved away from that, because part of repentance is, you're sorry, Okay, that's just half of it. Because everybody's sorry they got caught. You got to be sorry that you did what you did. You have to understand it was wrong. But here's the second half. You have to be resolved not to do it again. That's the thing. And so what you have to do, and I know because I've done it, you have to make an action plan. Humans are pretty predictable. We have buttons that get pushed, and push the right buttons and can make us do whatever we want. You know this for a fact. You know that there's always somebody that you can provoke. You know how to provoke them. You say the magic words and they're provoked. And so, yeah, maybe you know the magic word to seduce somebody, or to get them to give you money, or some other thing like that, right? But what you do is you make an action plan and say, okay, well, I'm going to eliminate all the bookmarks on my internet browser, that were for all these websites that I went to that I got in trouble over, or had me develop, the wrong attitude. I'm going to delete all the contacts and social media that discourage me or make me want to do bad things, and I'm just going to keep the ones that encourage me and stuff. So I hope that would be me. I hope you would keep me on your social media list, because I'll never encourage you to do something wrong. You can count on that. And so just if you ever hear any I don't have independent female friends, from my wife. My wife knows all the female friends that I have. And it's like, you will never hear like me doing like sex chat or anything. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous for a 65-year-old man talking about sex chat. But let me tell you, for men, it's on our mind until we're lowered in the ground. Okay, so it never stops. But what I'm saying is that if you hear anything like that, it's absolutely it's a lie. It's not how I roll. And so so there's like in the late night group and the all the social media that I'm engaged in, every single one of my female followers can attest to that. That's for sure. But you can't let your guard down, because you never know what the intention of the other person is. And I see that a lot here, because in this neighborhood, I'm unique. There's nobody really like me. There's my friend Renee from Switzerland, but he doesn't speak Chinese as well as I do. And so, yeah, I'm really careful about engaging in conversations with people if I'm not really sure what they're, what are they getting at. And so I've learned to say in Chinese, what do you really want? That kind of stuff. So that's good. It's really good. All right, now it is 1:45 a.m. here in Taiwan, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to head out and go back to the house. Matthew, you mean Mark, the Filipino guy that interrupted me on that stream the other day? Is that who you mean? Yeah, hopefully. See, that I got to tell you, that's one of the things I'm scared of, is that I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to roll out of bed, because Phoenix was born at 6 a.m. on the 25th of October, And I had been up all night with my wife, and my wife said, okay, just go back to Ma's house and go to sleep, and I'm going to take a rest. And so I went back to Ma's house, and I was laying in bed, and we had an earthquake that evening about, I guess, around 4 or 5 p.m. that was so bad that it went like this, and it actually rolled me over in bed. So, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So Dean, you were thinking the same thing as Matthew. I haven't heard a peep from him. I added him on Facebook. I made a point after he was, after I had quit the stream, made it a point because I wanted to let him know that there's no hard feelings, and he was asking questions. And I feel bad for him too in some respects, but some people kind of dig their own hole, and I think maybe he doesn't understand how to interact with people. He is young. He's 18. I can't say that I knew everything I knew now when I was 18, but you can't be disingenuous. But at least he wasn't a criminal and so forth. But I haven't heard anything. I added him. He hasn't contacted me, so I don't think he was really interested in contacting me. He said he'd seen me a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, figuring things out. He said he'd seen me a bunch of times. You guys heard him. He'd seen me several times here. I was wondering what I was doing, but at the end of the day, he hasn't even bothered to contact me. So I don't know what to tell you. I just know that if you could figure people out, whoever it is, you'd be qualified to replace them in whatever position that they're in. If you could figure out management, you could replace them, basically. So, all right. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining. Thanks so much. And sorry I wasn't on Sunday night. And Cliff was asking me about that. I'm usually on Sunday night my time and Thursday night my time, which is this time. But this past Sunday, it just wasn't going to happen. But hopefully for you guys to listen to real soon, shortly after the beginning of the year. So, yeah, we're going to stay safe, and I know that's for everybody. Thank you so much for joining on all the platforms: Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. And right this second, we have people on all 4 platforms viewing. And Coco, wherever you are, we miss you. But if you want your privacy, need your privacy, that's cool too. We understand. We just want to know everything's okay. That's all right. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, T. Thanks, Clifford. I appreciate it so much. So, yeah, my health seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. I got to really be careful about my blood glucose level. I'm very careful about not eating glycemic foods, but it's good. So. Did I get Casper to play guitar? No, I don't think Casper actually plays. I mean, he's never said that he plays. I never actually asked him, I guess. What I want to do is, I'll tell you guys a secret. I'm going to whisper over here. I want to get Casper in the studio to sing lead vocals on Bohemian Rhapsody. That's what I want to do. That should be my goal. But Casper came over today, and I was already planning on doing some guitar work in the studio. So he let me know. He's so busy that he just told me like yesterday, in the afternoon. Oh, I got a block of time tomorrow. Are you free? I said, yeah, man, come on up and we'll just do this thing. And while we were doing it, I said, why don't you grab my tripod, and so. Just turn on Periscope. So maybe you'll hear, Mama, ooh, with Casper. And I can do the any way the wind blows behind it. So that'd be cool. But we'll see. That would take a tremendous amount of work to do. So, but we'll see. I don't want to say any more because I'll get myself in trouble. You guys take care. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you following. And Cliff, I'm really glad that you could join us this time because you left some comments offline, but you're too quiet. During the stream, feel free to join in. Throw your 2 cents in. Okay? That's what it's all about. It's an interaction here. It's not about just me yakking and stuff. Thank you, Jen. And thanks for joining. Thanks for joining on Skype. It was nice to see you. And you have such a friendly countenance about you, And it's nice to see you. And you look like a very happy person. I appreciate it. Thanks. And thank you, too, Matthew. Take care, Dean. Good night, everybody. And this, Taiwan Live TV, Taiwan Live TV tradition, the big finger. Bye-bye. All right. That was great. See you guys.